Jimmy Clark has passed Mario Andretti, and Andretti has car problems. Smoke pours from the pole-winning car. Andretti gamely stays with it, hoping the situation will improve, but it doesn't. After one trip into the pits for fresh plugs, Andretti is forced to accept the fact that the race he hoped to win will go to someone else.
That's Andretti, I think. Yep.
Yes, he's making a pit stop, and certainly this is too early to be scheduled. He must have some kind of problem with his automobile.
Mario Andretti, the young man sitting on the pole in this race, then is in for a most unscheduled pit stop.
And for the second time in 2 years, he's in the pits with trouble very early.
Talking to Chief Mechanic Clint Broner, there's Blaze. And there's Mario Andretti has lost a wheel.
Well, it's sure a tough break for Mario.
He's got the car under control, however, and into the infield safely.
Mario, what happened? Wheel come off. I guess the brakes generated enough heat that expanded the hubs and just let the wheel loose, and then little by little the wing nut started backing off, and the only lucky thing is it gave me a warning going down the straightaway before I let go, so I was able to slow down enough by the time I got into the corner.
In turn 3, Mario Andretti's car begins to smoke. Next time around, he pulls in for a quick diagnosis of his problem. While Leonard leads, Bobby Unser is second. Mechanic Clint Broner continues to try and get the car back into competition as the field comes around again. But the car is beyond help. It would take several hours to fix.
Back at the track, Mario Andretti was out for practice in a Lotus, one of the cars prepared and designed by Colin Chapman. It looked like real disaster for Mario Andretti. This is the scene in the closing moments. The white flag, one lap for Mario Andretti. And Andy Granatelli can hardly stand it. Finally slipping on his red victory jacket. He still won't talk to anybody. And the crowd beginning to pay its tribute to Andretti. The young man who came to this country at the age of 14 as an immigrant from Italy. He had driven racing cars even before he came over here. This was the one he wanted more than anything else in the world. And here it comes, Mario. The checkered flag of victory. He's done it. And look at this scene in the pit.
Has been brought out, and into the pits comes Mario Andretti. This is pretty early, even though the yellow's out.
It certainly is. As a matter of fact, this is entirely too early to be a regularly scheduled pit stop, so he has to have some kind of a problem. It looks as though they're working on the front of the automobile. Apparently, the body must have come loose and was flapping in the breeze, and Mario taking advantage of the yellow flag to try to get it fixed as rapidly as possible. They are also refueling the automobile while he's in there.
What was that pit stop for Mario? The Zeus button on the hood and the nose cone got loose. You think it's going to hurt his chances? No.
To lead at this point, and a spin.
There is a spin. That's Steve Frisseloff of the STP team. Steve Frisseloff, a young driver,
Seems to
hit
have touched the wall, yeah.
Yep.
Look at the action there with the safety people. Very, very good at Indianapolis.
And out of our picture, I believe Mario Andretti has also come down in the infield, who oddly is the teammate of Steve Frisseloff, and the yellow flag is out again.
Mario, what happened?
Well, obviously, there was some oil, I think, that was spilled by Kristolov's car, and when we arrived on the scene, John Cock spun in front of me, hit the wall, and ricocheted into my path, and I was trying to kind of pinch it down close so I won't get into him, but I had nothing I could do.
And Mario Andretti is pushed to his pit out of fuel.
And here is Mario Andretti into the pits. Mario, who was in third place, has come into the pits. This is unscheduled. Now John Martin in car number 89. He's been having trouble all week. Mario Andretti out of the car. It looks like that's it again for the champion of this race in 1969.
Just can't do the job. Mario Andretti into the pits.
A lot of trouble here. There was smoke coming from Dallenbach's car. We'll have to find out in a second for you what it is. Mario unexpectedly. There are a lot of, not only Mario, but also Dick Simon now.
Mario Andretti also out of it, taking a quieter approach to what must also be a very heartbreaking moment for him. Let's go down to Mario Andretti.
Mario, what happened?
Broke a piston. Just still can't believe it.
You know, how do you account for all those cars all of a sudden just dropping out? Was it the blistering pace?
No, I don't think so. Everything was normal. I wasn't using any more pressure than what I had planned. And everything was fine. The revs were well within the range. We were below 9,000 revs. So I don't know. The engine was warm. Everything was warm. It was normal. And
Those are very frustrating moments in racing. Too bad, Mario.
there goes.
All right, back up topside.
With Bill Fleming, that was Mario Andretti, born in Italy, grew up in a displaced persons camp, former champion of the Indianapolis 500, and out of it
down the
now.
back straightaway, you can see Dolly back taking advantage of the draft as he slingshots past. In the smoke, there's a car spinning. It's Mario Andretti. It looks like he's had a mechanical. He's gone into the wall very hard indeed, right onto the grass.
Mario Andretti on the back straight. Hits the wall, and he hits on the left side of the car. That's where the fuel tank is located. There's no fuel tank on the right. It's kept on the left because most of the accidents in the past have happened as people have gone to the outside wall. But that time, something happened at the rear of Andretti's car, snapped it around. Mario had no chance. The yellow flag is out. He caroms off the wall, and as you see, walks away, but he's obviously shaken because he must have been traveling in the neighborhood of 190 miles an hour when it happened.
Well, he's having a seat. He's obviously feeling groggy, but I have to compliment tremendously the security people here. The emergency crews really came up. You can see the smoke as he starts to spin. The car goes out of control. It looks like the rear aerofoil is falling off to one side, Keith. Perhaps there's been a mechanical failure in that sense because it's not the ambulances and the firefighters and the rescue crews here.
There is a hospital on the grounds, and it's rule of thumb that everybody goes for a checkup. So the yellow flag...
In the second qualifying weekend, Mario Andretti, the 1969 winner, is back from Europe. He makes the field with 189.402. Almost a collision in the pits. Mike Mosley is going out, Mario Andretti coming in.
And there's Mario Andretti also having a long pit stop in the Roger Penske car. He was running up in 5th place most of the way, but he's losing all kinds of valuable time right now.
Well, it's a very leisurely pace that these men are working at. They're pushing the car back out of the way from one of the other pits there. They're expecting a car to come in, and he's moving close to the wall, but I'm afraid it looks too leisurely for me, Jim.
He's down by Mario Andretti's pits. Mario having his problems. What are they exactly, Chris?
Mario Andretti behind me has been in the pits 12 minutes. The reason they're changing the right-hand exhaust header, I have the spare left-hand one here. This is cool at a normal temperature. What they're taking off the car is red hot, almost molten metal, to try and get him back in the race. A tough break for Mario Andretti and a tough job for his crew.
Okay, with Jackie Stewart, and there is Mario Andretti out of the race now. It's been quite a month for him. Home for part of this month was a hotel in Monte Carlo where the cars raced past the famous casino and along the sea. Remember, he's a Grand Prix driver as well as an Indy.
Oh, Mario Andretti coming into the pits now. He had just passed A.J. Foyt, remember. He looks like he's going to be short. He's way off the road.
He's in the wrong pit, and he's got his hands up in disgust at himself. The engine stopped. He stalled his engine. Mario Andretti, what a terrible error. He's passing the point of A.J. Foyt.
How in the world could he do that?
Oh, it's just a terrible error. He obviously thought it was his pit, and he's being pushed up. This is an enormous amount of time lost. All that great time that he's gained on the racetrack has been lost now down there in the pit lane.
Because this is all under the green flag, and the other cars are still lapping 180 to 185 miles an hour. Look at Mario. Looks like he's saying, oh, goodness, his hand on his head. How could he do a thing like that? The man who may well win the 1978 World Grand Prix Formula One Drivers' Championship. One of the great drivers of our time. Former winner of this race in 1969. Born in Italy, raised in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, made his mark in American racing first, but then went back to the land of his birth, to Italy and other countries in Europe and around the world to try to win that world championship. He's still after it, but look at the seconds going by, Jackie.
There's something wrong there. They're looking at the back of the car. This is not a scheduled pit stop.
Of course, that was a demonstration earlier. The pit stop didn't work that way this time, with Andretti stopping way short of his own pit, now having major problems and out of the car.
What's wrong with it, and can they fix it? Well, he's quiet. He's very disappointed. There's a problem there with it appears to be the fuel. Mario's silent about it all, and I can't say as I blame him.
All right. right, Chris. Mario normally very cooperative. As you say, you can't blame him under these
In the
circumstances.
middle of row one sits a man who missed the race entirely last year, Mario Andretti of Pennsylvania. Andretti, winner of the race 11 years ago, hasn't finished in the top 5 since then. Last year, he was driving at Monte Carlo on the day of Indy. He returns in car number 12 this year of the Roger Penske team. Like all of the cars in the first 2 rows, it's Cosworth. There is Mario Andretti going for the lead in car number 12. Again, the standings have been shuffled under the pit stops. You see Pancho Carter second. Now, Mario is actually the dark blue car number 12 right there. He appears to be in second place behind a slower car, but he is, in fact, the leader in the race.
Looking back in your career, you've won the Indy 500, you've won the Daytona 500, you've won the World Championship. What is the single most important achievement for you?
The most important thing that I've achieved career-wise is the World Championship, and the most important single event that I won is by far Indianapolis.
Mario Andretti, he was born in Italy, moved to Nazareth, Pennsylvania, still underneath, even while he was moving up in USAC racing, won the Indianapolis 500. His burning ambition was to be the World Grand Prix champion. He achieved that a couple of years ago. Since then, however, has fallen on very hard times. What would really mean something to him now would be that second Indianapolis victory.
Come in there and take about 38 or 39 gallons of fuel. And there's Mario Andretti. He's slowing down. He's on the inside of the racetrack. This is not under a yellow. This is not going into the pits. This is a serious blow for Mario Andretti. It looks like he switched off the engine. He's sitting there, and it must be going through his mind, not another mechanical failure. The yellow light is not out. They're still racing. You can see the yellow car there. Car number 4 is Johnny Rutherford. The Chaparral still going on all 8 cylinders in the Ford Cosworth engine. He's not slowing down, but Mario Andretti, I fear, may well be out of the race because he was going very slowly indeed.
Time, not only in Grand Prix in the last year or so, but through the years here at Indianapolis, mechanical problems, often a very small part, there he is down low on the race course, have sidelined Mario Andretti. Again, there he is by the white line, creeping in towards the pits. Almost unquestionably, he'll be out of the Indianapolis 500. He's certainly not going to win it. Now they do bring the yellow out. So again, they are slowing down, racing under the yellow. Mario Andretti up out of the car. That's it for the day. What a tough break. Mario Andretti out of it. Johnny Rutherford the leader, and more to come.
It's a tough season, Mario. What's the trouble this trip?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a connecting rod or something.
Mario, what about the shape of the race, the rookies and the low boost pressure? Has it made a difference in how you drive it here?
No, I think it was, the race was going very well, of course. I think my car was working very good, and we were going just according to plan. We had our good stops, and we were just getting organized on our tire set, so I think the game plan was just going very smoothly for us, and then, of course, this happened, and, you know.
Thanks very much, Mario Andretti, 1969 winner, out of it again.
He will have to get on the end of the row there, see how they shuffle by the time everybody takes pit stops under the yellow, with the pace car still out there. And here we have the leader coming in. There is Mario Andretti, car number 40, and Bobby Unser, also car number 3. So John Cock has made his stop. Now it's their counters. Many of the wives are nowadays. It was a time when they simply weren't allowed there. Bobby out again, and Bobby going out he passed a car. What's he doing? Look at that, he's passed about half a dozen cars.
Oh, James, that's...
Under the yellow, you can't do that.
That is a no-no. He has accelerated probably in the haste of leaving the pit lane. He's certainly overtaken these other cars. I'm not sure why he did that. I know that you're certainly not supposed to do it. The regulations say that under yellow flag conditions, you must not pass any other cars, and that certainly has been the case here. He's certainly passed other cars. Right now, of course, they're under the yellow. There you see him in the blue and red car there, blue and yellow car.
The race is under the caution light. Unser passes other cars while falling back into line. But so does Andretti. This was the start of the controversy that cost Unser the race. Unser got his 3rd Indianapolis checkered flag. Mario, close behind, was scarcely noticed. And Vern Schupan drove such a quiet, smooth race, hardly anyone knew he was there. Well, Bobby went to winner's circle. And Mario, in second, had accomplished the almost impossible, driving from last row to second. But even while Bobby Unser savored his third Indianapolis victory, rumors of a pending protest were heard. The official standings are not posted until 8 a.m. the morning after the race. When that time came, Bobby Unser had been penalized one lap by officials for passing other cars under the yellow flag. An agonized Mario Andretti was declared the winner. Unser was dropped to second.
When I got the news this morning, just right after 8 o'clock from Jim McGee, I just didn't know what to say, and it's going to take a while for me to get all my thoughts together correctly. It's supposed to be a delightful experience, and I'm sure in due time it will be. On the other hand, there's a plus and minus here. It's a very unusual way to win an event. All I can say is that I've also had it taken away from me. Precisely the Italian Grand Prix in 1978 was taken away from me because allegedly I jumped the line at the start. In my own mind, all I can say to feel better that it evens that score, but certainly doesn't make Bobby feel any better. The unfortunate thing about that is that he went through all the hoopla, all the beautiful things that a winner experiences in victory lane, and then it was taken away, and then the victory is given to me, and I will never get to experience that myself.
The winner of this race will never be established to everyone's satisfaction. But all agree that the 65th Indianapolis 500 was a race to remember. A bittersweet victory shared by two men and composed of equal parts of glory and agony.
What a story tonight. Can you believe after several appeals and 173 days, Andretti is out and Bobby Unser has been reinstated as winner of the Indianapolis 500. A three-man board of appeals made the decision today in Indianapolis. Ed Harding tells us the whole story.
Pace car is off the track, but they must await the green flag before the race is underway. Watch the starters platform on the left there. It's still not out. They appear to be in pretty good order in the first 5 or 6 rows at any rate. A little bit ragged towards the back. And look out, a crash before the start of the race. It was Kevin Kogan from the middle of the first row, suddenly taking a hard left turn. Tires flying. How in the world could this have happened?
Absolutely no idea, Jim. That's one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen. Remember, they were going about 130, 140 miles an hour when that started, but there is just no explanation, and now one of the favorites is totally out of the race.
And Dale Whittington's car is up against the wall. That's one of the 3 Whittington brothers. Number 40 you saw there was Mario Andretti. There is the number 4 car of Kevin Kogan that appeared to start it all.
Roger Mears is out of the race with a damaged right front. Jim, this is absolutely...
Well, we've seen many unexpected things, but never a crash even before the green flag fell for the start of the race. We had a terrible crash just after the start back in 1973. That was when Salt Walther spun, started it, rode up the wire caging. 10 or 11 cars were involved. There you saw Kogan trying to explain things.
To Andretti. Poor Andretti spent the entire month here. Mario has getting ready. There's Kevin Kogan.
And now we have a red flag, Sam. That means the race is officially stopped. Remember, it didn't start. Look at this. This was Kogan earlier. This is videotape of Kevin Kogan trying to talk to Andretti. Andretti appearing to push him away. He doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to hear. Mario Andretti very, very upset. Now, our reporters are fanning out, trying to get the principals. Bill Fleming is with Mario Andretti right now. Okay. All right, Bill.
One more time, Mario, I couldn't hear what you said. I said, this is what happens when you have children doing a man's job up front. That's what happens. Somebody come right across in front of you. Yeah, Kogan, you know, just, I guess, messed up and his side was in front of me. I just had no choice but T-bone him.
All right, well, there's A.J. Foyt. He was just talking to Kogan for a moment. Had some choice words for him, no doubt. Now, Chris Economaki moving in on A.J.
A.J., how'd that start?
Well, I don't know. He ran right square in my goddamn left front.
What are you talking about? Kogan? Kogan. A.J. Foyt blames it on Kevin Kogan.
Kogan, 26 years old, finished 4th in this race as a rookie last year. Another replay. He's in the middle of the first row. Watch him.
Well, he speaks of wanting to see the film, Jim, to clear this thing up. I don't know what he's going to find out when he looks at it, honestly.
Oh, Mario Andretti just T-boning him on the side. There was nothing at all that Mario could do.
Mario, very lucky not to be injured in that. Did you notice? He almost went underneath Kogan's car, which would have been, of course, terrible if it had scraped up over his...
That's the yellow car. Johnny Parsons, Mario Andretti.
Oh, no, Mario.
Andretti hit the wall. Parsons, the yellow car down low. And there, Andretti still sliding. Other cars getting around.
There's Holmes on the inside. Howdy, Holmes getting around.
And again, the tremendous adhesion of these cars to the road.
Oh, but he's not moving.
Get around.
Jim, that's Mario. He's not, his head isn't moving.
No.
There's Johnny Parsons. He's at least conscious and okay.
Well, Parsons started the incident, unaccountably spinning there. Just seemed to have lost it going into turn one. He's okay. At least he's moving and getting out of the car. But Mario appeared to be perhaps unconscious, certainly not moving. Now, perhaps, let's see, still
like
looking at Mario.
Car is
got his
there.
helmet. He's moving out of the car and on his feet. On his feet and walking, at least.
I was really scared for him.
Walking to the ambulance. Mario Andretti out of the race again.
A rookie with a familiar name is on the track. Michael Andretti of Nazareth, Pennsylvania, becomes the second man in Indianapolis 500 history to race against his father. His speed is way up front with 207.805. Now, dear old Dad is trying for the pole. But on his fourth and last qualifying lap, the engine dies, and Mario coasts past the checkered flag. He can't believe that this has happened to him. His average is 207.467. He will start the race behind Michael.
And Mario Andretti looks more like a Roman centurion as the years go by. Today, he starts in the same row as his son, still seeking that elusive second Indy win. His only triumph came 15 long years ago.
Mario Andretti gets the signal to come in for service. Ahead of him on the pit driveway are Rick Mears and Jose Garza. Unable to pass, Andretti rams Garza and damages his nose cone and right front wing. Too much damage to continue. Andretti climbs out. After 15 years, he's still looking for his second Indianapolis win.
Continue it does, and here is Mario Andretti, number 3, into the pits. Look at the front wing. He's had an incident on the course, getting out of the car. It looks like the bad luck that has dogged him for the past 15 years here, since he won the race in 1969, has got him again.
Jim, I saw Mario sitting out by the swimming pool the other day. He had his swimming trunks on. He had his cooler sitting by him with his wife. Here comes that incident. Now a replay as he's coming into the pits.
Yeah, and Jose Garza in front of him, is it?
Yes, Garza in the white car.
Yeah,
you see,
coming
Mears
in
is
and
clear.
there.
Yeah, there
Mario
he is.
couldn't avoid him.
No, he couldn't. That's a shame. I was going to say he was sitting by the pool, and he was all ready to go, except there was no water in the pool.
Has that kind of luck at Indianapolis. Bill Fleming is down with a saddened Mario Andretti.
Doggone it, Mario. Here you are again, and we have to do an interview under unhappy circumstances, but what happened?
Garza just was, all of a sudden, just decided to duck in the pits, and apparently, I don't know if he knew where he was going or what, because it looked like he was in the last pit. He was going to stop.
Garza?
Yeah, it looked like he was going to get out of the way, then all of a sudden he pulled in the fast lane. I couldn't stop, you know, I just hit him.
Mario, you were running about 400 revs slower than anybody else, and I think Darrell was concerned about that. He talked to us about it earlier. Any idea what that problem was?
I had a broken exhaust pipe.
And that would cause that, just a decrease in RPM, huh?
Losing all the
Hey,
power.
listen, let me just ask you one question about the start. How did you feel looking over there at Michael?
Well, he was looking good. He's still looking good. So, hope he brings home the bacon.
Okay, Mario.
Scoreboard showing it a half a second, but it certainly isn't. It's nothing now. Danny Sullivan going down low. Did he make the move? Sullivan down low. Side by side, Sullivan has the lead. Danny Sullivan, Kentucky. And just at that moment, losing control of the car, doing a magnificent job of not hitting the wall and continuing in the race. It's unbelievable.
The incredible move maybe ever in Indianapolis, and Mario didn't hit him, Jim. That's even more incredible. Andretti subtly moving to the side like a fighter, taking a punch but letting it slip by him. Sullivan at 200 miles an hour recovering from that spin. You have to go back to Jim Clark in 1964-5, Jim, to get a move like that on this racetrack.
I've never seen anything like it on the Indianapolis racetrack.
Incredible.
Unbelievable, but he's going to come in. That may have caused problems in the car.
That is absolutely unbelievable what we saw. Of course, he must now stop because he's flat-spotted those tires. He's coming down that very rough pit lane there, which keeps the speeds down.
Listen to the cheers for him.
Oh, it's incredible. This place has come alive, and of course, Andretti is in the pits too, both the leaders. But Sullivan is going to have to change all 4 tires because of that. Mario will go back out. You see, they're even changing that left front tire, which they never change.
Well, that'll cost him the lead, no question of it. But Danny Sullivan is back out on the race course. I have never seen a person take a spin like that and begin to slide towards the wall and still recover. Let's have another look at it.
One of his greatest fans, this man, Mario Andretti, looks as if he's headed for defeat today. On the day he said he had the best chance ever in his 20 years to win the Indianapolis 500. I feel incredibly for Mario, who put so much work and so much hope into this and is coming up short just a few seconds worth.
The old American hero will lose the race. The new American hero is Daniel John Sullivan III of Louisville, Kentucky, who has won the Indianapolis 500. Mario Andretti finished in second. Roger Penske, the crew chief. Now is the time to celebrate. They didn't budge a muscle until he had crossed the start-finish line, that yard of brick, for the last time.
Well, I thought it was rather weird the way he tried to do it. I gave him plenty of room, and he pinched it down there. I knew that once I took him down, he took the bait. Once I took him down so deep, I knew that he was cooked. But, I mean, he was just lucky.
The bad luck that his dog Mario Andretti here, since his only win in 1969, continued in the week after he qualified for the second row. This crash caused Mario only minor physical injuries, but his spirit was crushed again along with his car. It was sent back to England, but repairs couldn't be completed, so he'll start near the back of the field in a backup car.
Mario. And now Mario has slowed down. We just saw Mario Andretti slow down on the front straight in front of us.
He's slowing into turn 1, Jim. He put his hand up right in front here.
Standings. Yes, as we look at those standings, Mario Andretti has pulled down below the apron between turns 1 and 2. And there's a look at Mario Andretti, who clearly has some problem.
Well, we have no idea what it was, but he signaled with his hand raised, so he knew it's terminal, whatever it is. The engine's probably gone, or the gearbox. Who knows? But Mario's long run of bad luck. We think we've overheard him say on his radio back to his pit communication that his that his engine has quit. My first guess. You know, incredible when you think he last won this race in 1969, and in the years before that, he was twice on the pole. He was Rookie of the Year back in '65. He must have thought, here's the yellow flag, he must have thought that this track was going to be his own private hunting ground, and it just has not worked out that way.
It has become one of the most star-crossed relationships in all of sport. Mario Andretti and his continuing haunting string of failures at the Indianapolis 500. There are 8 laps, 20 miles to go in the Indianapolis 500. 7 left to go when he crosses the start-finish line here.
Michael Andretti just ducking in, incidentally. 4th place, Michael Andretti.
That's Rahal right behind Kogan. Yep. Here comes Lear. We may still have 3 cars who have a say about this.
We knew Michael was going to probably have to make that extra stop. He's making that now. That, of course, is totally the end of any chance. He will now be lapped. He has been lapped.
He's cooked.
But look at how close.
This moment of trouble in Michael Andretti's pit. At this moment, the Michael Andretti team is still recovering from this incident. Bobby, smoke in the pit. There may have been a fire.
Well, there obviously was a fire. What caused it at a pit stop, I really can't tell you right now. There was so much happening all at the same time. We had action all around this racetrack.
And now, Sam Posey, Michael Andretti's car is being pushed to the garage in front of us. For the moment, it is he who has inherited his father's legacy of racing bad luck here.
Yes, but it's the first time he's had bad luck here, Jim, because he has raced that crewman there with his back to us, so the helmet on might have been hurt. But this is the first time that Michael Andretti in 4 starts has ever been out of the race. He finished his first 3 starts here, appeared to have a real lucky streak going. Vince Granatelli is a very practical guy compared to his dad, Andy Granatelli. He was so emotional in these racing situations. Now you see, I think that was a glance at Mario possibly starting for the pits. Mario on the right of your screen, he's not starting for the pits.
Oh my goodness, it's happened again.
It has happened.
It has happened again, and you can hear the crowd responding. Lady Luck has reared what is to Mario her ugly head at Indianapolis again.
That shows. Don't count your chickens till they hatch. The bad luck has followed Mario again. This is kind of sad in many ways. Mario is going to feel worse today than he has in probably most of his losses, Jim.
Millions of racing fans prayed only that Mario would get a fair shot, a full run at it. It looked so good for so long, and there now is the leader, and Katie knows it as Roberto Guerrero tries to turn his bridesmaid status into that of a champion.
There's Roberto Guerrero. Now, he, of course, saw Mario slowing, so what is in this man's mind? 28 years old. Now the Indianapolis 500 handed to him. We have heard now word that through Mario's radio back to his pits that he has lost blower pressure, his turbocharger not working. He may be able to limp around to a finish. Of course, any chance of winning is now completely gone.
This happened with less than 60 miles to go. He had led for all but 5 laps in the race.
That's astounding. But this is Indianapolis. This is racing luck. This is what we talked about all day. But remember another thing. It isn't over yet. The end of this race doesn't happen until it's really over.
And there goes Roberto Guerrero by Andretti's car. You see Andretti in the pits. You saw Guerrero come down the front straight. The leaderboard changes. Car number 4 goes to the top of the leaderboard. Roberto Guerrero is the man in control. Who's chasing Guerrero? Al Unser Sr. in car number 25.
And Mario Andretti, car number 6, rolls to the side of the track. Remember, this was a car with a gearbox problem. They got it back in the race. The yellow flag is out because Mario is sitting up in a dangerous position on the track. But apparently, Mario with newer and further problems.
Boy, just another tough day for Mario.
Around it. There's Mario under tow, and they'll bring him back into the pits at the Indianapolis 500. Mario Andretti, car number 6, and you can hear the crowd acknowledging his efforts here today. Giant Mario Andretti sits in the pits with a problem as big as the Indy infield. The second time that he has spent time in the pits, and as you can see, and Mario Andretti, finally, after a very long day and 2 incredibly long pit stops, is out of the Indianapolis 500-mile race.
Well, there are very few people who I think have had to put up with as much disappointment in sport as Mario Andretti. He has been competitive in this event ever since he came here as a rookie in 1965. And yet, after time, and you see his son still in contention, Michael here, time after time, he has come close and only once won it. You know, I think if he'd won it more toward the middle of his career, it wouldn't have been so brutal, but he won it so early, suggesting he was going to win many more, and ever since it's been disappointment after disappointment.
And look, on board Michael Andretti's car, the upper cover of the right side pod is blowing and trying to rip off of the car. Michael Andretti, it's not over until the checkered flag flies, and this race, while being dominated by Rick Mears, is still very active.
Not only that, now that will cause a yellow flag.
Yep, and they'll bunch up, and it'll be a trophy dash between
yellow
the
flag.
Two. Yep.
We saw it, we anticipated.
There's going to be
came up on the main. We've got a car sideways in the pit. You got a glimpse of it right there. As we're making stops, that's the 70 car. That, of course, belongs to John Andretti. As he got sideways in the pit area, and the crew went out to give him a hand and get him back into place.
What happens there, Paul, is that not a problem with the pit lane. It's a problem if somebody is leaving when somebody else is coming in. And John Andretti's particular case, he just got caught in a bad position right
Back
there.
live at the Indianapolis 500, and somewhat slowly, Mario Andretti rolls into the pits. He was running in 5th place, as now the Newman Haas team goes to work on that car. And he came rolling in perhaps right at the end of his fuel tank because he was just creeping along as he rolled up to his pit.
Well, that's very possible, Paul. They don't know this early in the race exactly what the gas mileage has been because partially the yellows. They really don't get good mileage readings.
All right, let's go to that pit. Brian Hammonds.
Pulling in without power. Mario Andretti is sitting in what is now a dead race car. They're ready to take the cowling off. They'll probably change the spark box. That's the first thing they change. The engine just died on him, Paul.
All right, so Mario Andretti with a little bit more of a problem. Emerson Fittipaldi, the leader of the race, also made a stop. In doing so under the green flag, turned the lead over to Mario's son, Michael Andretti. Al Unser Jr. fell into second place then, and Emerson Fittipaldi came back out in third.
Andretti darts underneath Fittipaldi, and they're side by side. Entering turn 3, Michael grabs the #1 spot. Fittipaldi has been turning laps in excess of 220 miles an hour, and suddenly he's struggling to keep up. The Andretti luck continues at Indy as Michael detonates an engine down the front chute.
We're back at the Indianapolis 500. Michael Andretti running in the lead. Just like his father several years ago, the engine has let go. He coasts to a stop on the track from the lead. Michael Andretti out of the 500.
That's another Chevrolet problem with those engines today, Paul. You can watch as the smoke comes out of the tailpipe. That's when you know it's coming out water and oil.
Crew carefully taking their time. Look at this as the steam from that engine wafts over the front of Michael's car, and look at him. He pounds the steering wheel in frustration as Emerson Fittipaldi comes out in just a few seconds. He will come past Michael Andretti. Safety crews with Michael.
We talk about what sons inherit from their fathers, what skills and what attitude. How about what kinds of luck? Michael Andretti going out at Indianapolis the way his dad has so often here before.
Look at the stare in Michael's eyes, the disappointment. The Indianapolis 500 could have been his.
He has a right to be sad, Paul.
The rope is to help them tow the car back into the pit areas.
Strange how much his eyes, which looked so youthful just last week compared to Mario's, sort of already just in today's proceedings taken on extra wisdom that goes with such severe disappointment as this.
Fans wish so much for the Andretti family. And once again, it has come to this. This time, though, it strikes Michael. So many people want to see Michael score his first Indianapolis 500-mile race win. They thought perhaps this was the day. Now, with Emerson Fittipaldi's pit stop, that brought Al Unser Jr. up to the front of the field, and under the yellow, Little Al will be scored in the front of the race. So Little Al has yet to make his pit stop, and there's Michael on the rope on the way into the pits, and his day is done. Now, it was over on the front straightaway that this situation first developed. Car was looking so good and so fast. There's his car moving down the main stretch. Look, about halfway down there, right at the line now. The engine let go right in front of the giant grandstands that line the 5/8 of a mile long home stretch at the Speedway, and he coasted to a stop over on the back stretch. Now the crowd salutes him as he comes back.
Scott Britton will move up. Mario Andretti will move up. And Rich Bowler. And then car number 69 will be up in the front stop of
We're back at the Indianapolis 500, and there is the car of Michael Andretti in the pits, silent. His day is done. Let's go to Brian Hammonds.
Michael Andretti and his wife, Sandy. Michael, what was it that ended your day?
Well, the engine blew.
At any point, you were running so well. At any point during this race, were you thinking to yourself that my dad won this thing 20 years ago, and here I am leading Indy?
Yeah, and I guess I inherited more than just his driving. I think I inherited a bit of his luck here at this place because, you know, the car was just so good. I was just taking my time, you know, a nice conservative pace, not trying to take anything out of it. But obviously, I guess we took too much out of it. I don't know where.
For a while today, Michael Andretti really had him covered.
Out the
Paul?
33-car field, Michael Andretti works his way around this track. His father alongside, and there is his onboard camera. That's his father, Mario, just up and to the right. Slowly now preparing for the 500. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
The Newman Haas team takes care of Mario and Michael Andretti, Paul, and as they get set, the unspoken question, will this be the year that finally good fortune smiles on the team that's had so much frustration over the years at this racetrack? Aside from the colorful Alexander Julian design uniforms they wear, not a lot of flamboyance with this team. They're efficient, they're focused, they're determined to get an Andretti to victory lane. And victory lane, Paul, just one pit up the road to our right.
Mario Andretti at the head of the pit road, slowing down, coming into the pits.
Well, we can't see what's wrong with him yet, but he's coming in way too slow. I would have to guess his engine is totally dead.
Went past the number 9 car of Tom Sneva, parked on pit road right now.
Now let's see when they pull the hood off. They're moving too slow. Smoke coming out of the back. Obviously, he's got an engine or transmission going.
Oh, and once again, a great disappointment for Mario. Let's go to Jack.
Well, Paul, it is an engine that has expired. The first Chevrolet of the race has gone out, and that is Mario Andretti. They're going to take the bonnet off, but it's all over. Not since 1969 has he seen victory lane.
When you see the smoke come out like that, it's pretty much done, and that's sad for Mario. How much bad luck can one man have?
It's terribly sad for Mario Andretti. He's fallen out of 17 of his 25 Indianapolis 500 starts. Only once has he seen the checkered
He continues
flag.
to be haunted by problems here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A blown engine.
Well, the blown engine, big surprise because it's quite early in the race, and we certainly didn't press that hard to take anything out of it. Just one of those things.
The track conditions, we're seeing a lot of cars that are awfully loose, blistering tires, major changes. What do you attribute all that to, Mario?
Well, the reason I blistered a tire, it's not the tire's fault. I picked up a puncture, and that induced a blistering, so I had no problem at all with the tires. The Goodyears is just running beautiful.
We'll have to wait until 1991 to see if Andretti can score his second.
That was a good stop, a good fast stop. For this time of the race, hey, that one you can't complain about.
First stop under the green flag, and as a result, this car moves to the lead. It's Michael Andretti out in front, but he will cycle down into the pits as well. As you can see, he threads across that line and heads down for a pit stop as well.
Well, he was sure going awful slow back in there, Paul. Have to see if Michael gets any different type of pit work as he comes in.
Michael Andretti on the roll down into the Newman Haas pits. With these pit stops under green, the lead will change several times. A lot of smoke at the back of the car. Now some fire as they pull off.
The rear brake is on fire, Paul.
Well, I'm surprised that that would happen, that it even use it that much. Look at the rotor there. Look at fire still coming off the brake rotor, as now they're going to try to disassemble that rotor.
Here in Indianapolis, Paul, some of the cars, like we mentioned earlier, have been using different brakes, trying to get enough for mistake. But Ari's was a normal stop. This one is not.
This is Andretti luck at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as Michael sits silent, hoping that they will get that car back out of there.
A lap later, John Andretti brushes the wall in 4, continues down the front stretch, and spins in turn 1, bringing out the final caution of the race.
They say, well, look at the back end there at the right rear tire. That's John Andretti.
He had been pushing it so hard. Now the question is, why does that right rear tire look bad? Did it happen before or after the spin?
It's certainly leaning in. It's not standing up the way a tire should, but we haven't seen a good camera position yet.
He's obviously okay. The rest of the field has slowed down, and emergency crews are on the way there.
He had run as high as 7 in that Porsche.
Under plus. The track looking nice and clean.
Fittipaldi trimmed another 0.4 of a second off as Jeff Andretti has his engine problems and pulls to the side. He's the highest running rookie at this point. He's had a great month and is a sure candidate for Rookie of the Year honors when the media votes on those. Rather subjective vote that they have, not based on position at all.
That's the old reliable Cosworth engine too, Paul. I might mention that Jeff Andretti has in his car.
And Jeff was able to get the car down into the pit area, so that enables the race course to stay under green conditions. Well, they're under yellow. We are on the 185th lap. Just in front of Rick Mears is Michael's cousin, John Andretti. Andretti started this race with 4 in the field. There are 2 left. One of them is John. Then you see Rick Mears, the leader of the race, so he's back in the serial. And then Michael Andretti is just behind him.
3 Andrettis. Mario's still
in the fight, certainly. Thank you, Sam. On board with Rick. Now, here's something else to consider. This race traditionally changes in the last 10 laps. We're approaching that area now. The green flag is back out. And Rick Mears comes around John Andretti. He's no factor whatsoever, but Michael is right there with him. Michael moving to the outside. Can he keep in the high groove? He did it at Phoenix. Can he do it here? Michael Andretti takes the lead away from Rick Mears. Wow!
That's one of the toughest passes I've ever seen. A short shoot pass with 2 cars running nearly the same speed. I'll just bet you that Rick Mears thought that would have been impossible, and I just can tell you he never, ever looked for Michael to go that way.
That is sheer virtuosity by Michael Andretti, Bobby. Don't you agree? That was an incredible
That was one of the finest pieces of driving, or one of the hardest pieces of driving I've seen. And Sam, it's very difficult to pass somebody on the outside like that, and especially a car that's just as fast.
And from Bobby Unser's point of view, a position on the track that he was not expected. But here is Rick Mears now in the same position as Mears, who has been driving a very different line. This race takes Michael Andretti. 187 laps into the record book. The fight is at the front. Now there is a car sitting on the entrance to the pit lane. And apparently they've decided to bring the yellow out, and it's none other than Mario Andretti.
What an irony. The yellow flag would prevent his son from having any chance to counterattack against Rick Mears.
But then it might give him a chance, because it will put Michael right up next to Rick.
Good point for a restart. And what happened on the last restart? Michael was able to rip by Rick.
So the fates of this race changes again as the yellow is out, and it will be a definite sprint to the finish with 9 laps to go. 1 corner left to go. 1 corner left to run. He can see the checkered flag just ahead of him now. Michael begins to accelerate. It's not nearly as good a run off of the 4th turn as he got the last time, as the green flag flies on the 82nd lap of the Indianapolis 500. And look at, and another car, and that's Mario.
This involves Mario Andretti. You see him moving over toward the pit wall on the inside. Mario Andretti.
Now watch this as we ride with Mario. Waiting for the green to come out. Strung out through the 3rd turn now. The short chute is ahead.
But you just don't want to know. You just don't want to look.
Back end just came loose.
Boy, that gives you an idea how hard they hit here. Back end just came loose, just like you just said, Paul. There was, I don't think anybody else involved or anything else involved.
6th time that a crash has taken Mario out of the Indy 500.
He's failed to finish in 20 of 27 Indy races.
And it's at the same place that turn 4 coming off. It's got to be slippery up there because we've seen a lot of problems there.
And that was a fairly head-on angle into the wall, so we hope Mario is okay as we take a look at this situation again.
This race has turned into a demo derby, basically.
Ray Hall went into the pits in 5th place, but he dropped back during that. Scott Goodyear, for one, was able to get around.
Very costly stop for Ray Hall under the green at bad time.
Jeff Andretti
catches the wall. This time several laps back into the green flag. Driving A.J. Foyt's car.
Gary Bettenhausen, who just talked about his run, a fine run.
Look at the tire on the left, still rotating, still rolling down the track. The debris is still early.
Gary Bettenhausen. There's his car. He's failed to finish 15 of his 20 Indy 500s. Another look at it, Bobby Unser.
Now just violently.
Boy, Jeff.
looked like a wheel was off the car before the car started spinning, and Jeff really caught the wall
Safety
hard.
lock on there that should prevent it from coming off, and I can't answer that one for you.
And once again, these safety crews who have worked far, far too much today are huddled around another car, and this time it belongs to Jeff Andretti.
It's an A.J. Foyt entry.
Mario Andretti's youngest son.
Yep.
12 cars have been sidelined by accidents, and we're just past the halfway point in the Indy 500. Michael Andretti just turned a lap at 221.2 miles an hour. 11 laps to go in the Indy 500, and Michael is slowing. Michael is slowing. The rest of the field is coming past. Michael Andretti is slowing down. Unser Jr. will take the lead as Michael Andretti slows down at Indianapolis. An unbelievable turn of events. The man who has dominated this race on the 189th lap. Suddenly the car slows and Michael appears to be done.
Paul, that is another Andretti thing. It's sad for Michael. I have never seen a race driver in my life that deserves this race more than Michael Andretti, and he isn't even going to make it back to the pit.
There come the leaders, first and second. Unser Jr., Scott Goodyear. And we've got a whale of a race. Jack Arute, you have an update.
Paul, it was very simple on the radio. He radioed in, "I can't believe it. The engine quit."
And about 400,000 people here cannot believe it as well. They are all on their feet. And Michael wants that car back to the pits. If a man ever deserved the accolade of this gigantic crowd, it's Michael Andretti. He led 163 laps. And then turning a lap of only about 220 miles an hour, much slower than he'd been earlier in the day, suddenly the engine shut down.
You can hear the people
There's Paul
cheering him
Newman.
right now. There's one of his owners, Paul Newman, wife Sandy.
Ed Nathmans.
You know, this shows you how quickly fate changes here in Indianapolis.
A car and driver who dominated this 76 running today being pulled back to the garage area. What a disappointment for another one of the Andretti family. Michael obviously hoping to get out of the car and make it to Methodist Hospital as fast as he can, but very, very disappointed sitting in the car as he is being towed back to Gasoline Alley. Paul?
Michael, of course, concerned with injuries to both his father and to Jeff Andretti. And we have yellow. As Mario Andretti comes in, two cars together on the track. The first time we've had contact between two today, the yellow flag comes out.
Jeff Andretti on the right, in that you can see him on the left here, who of course had that terrible accident here last year, so we're very concerned about Jeff Andretti. He was in a big accident here last year. This is his first race, having spent a year in rehabilitation.
The other car appears to be Roberto Guerrero, who, remember, was just in the pits. And that's Roberto being helped out of the car. Mario Andretti, the leader of the race, in and out just as the yellow came on. So again, Mario picks an advantage of the yellow light. And we are under yellow at Indianapolis. This time an accident involving Roberto Guerrero and Jeff Andretti. We're back, still under yellow. Here's the lineup under this yellow flag. An accident involving Roberto Guerrero and Jeff Andretti, though both drivers climbed in and out of climbed out of their cars rather quickly. And there is now a report that there will be a stop-and-go penalty for Mario Andretti, who sits in third place. Now, here's the situation that created this accident. Guerrero tried to get down under Jeff, and it didn't work. The two of them ended up against the wall. And look at Nigel Mansell ducking by on the... Back at Indianapolis, we anticipate a stop-and-go penalty for Mario Andretti. The reason is this. Now, watch the yellow lights right on the right-hand wall there. Mario was on the approach to the pits. He couldn't really commit over and go back onto the racetrack, but what they're supposed to do, if that yellow light comes on while he's rolling down the pit road, is go on through the pits and circle around again and wait for them to reopen.
So first of all, Jeff, how you feeling?
Oh, I feel fine. I got a few bumps and bruises, but I walked away from it all right.
What happened out there?
Well, just going down into turn 3, I saw Roberto coming up, but as we got to the corner, I felt that I had enough of the car ahead of him, and I felt that I should go in on the line. So I went in, but I didn't go all the way in on the line, but he had committed himself as well going into the corner, and we both met at the same point, and he just touched my rear wheel and got me sideways, and that's all, you know, just a racing accident. I was just really just trying to bide my time out there and just hang in there and try and stay out of trouble, and that's what I was trying to do, and, you know, just trouble found me.
Unlike last year, in 1993, Jeff Andretti able to walk away.
But you know, the amazing thing is that Jeff and Roberto came together here on just the second day of practice. In that case, it was Jeff sliding up.
Mario Andretti, who starts ninth. In his career, he scored 52 wins, the most of any active driver. The car that he drives today is a quantum leap from his 69 winner. There is an extra incentive to win today. This is his final 500. His goodbye is part of a tour called Arrivederci Mario. We're back live in Indianapolis, where everyone headed for the pits, but Mario Andretti is still there, Gary.
Yeah, Paul, they've taken off the bodywork. They've gone to work on the electronics in the right side pod. They tell us that the problem was the car would not idle when they came in under yellow for that pit stop. What a horrendous thing to happen on the first stop of the race. Continue for Mario Andretti. They put all the bodywork back on. They thought they'd made the change. They tried to fire the car. It would not respond. We understand that when the accident occurred, traffic slowed down and it got below the low level for RPMs, and the engine just died. They haven't been able to get it fixed thus far. Mario Andretti has just climbed out of the cockpit after setting in abject frustration. Now on the wall, the helmet off. Mario, this crowd responding to all your years, and I know that this has to be as bitter a disappointment as maybe you've ever had at this great race plant.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why things happen like this. It seems like just weird things are happening to me very early, and you know, it's obviously disappointing. You know, I think you know, we're doing all right. We're running okay. I felt very comfortable. Nothing else I can say, I guess.
What happened when you had to slow down after the incident? Then you lost revs altogether?
When yellow came out, when I backed off, it blew out the pressure relief valve, the way I understand, inside the engine, inside the plenum, and they thought they could fix it, but it's an internal piece, and that's it. Because I noticed as soon as I backed off on the back straightaway, when I was trying to get back up to speed, the thing was just, you know, was just not picking up the rev. So coming in, I couldn't keep the engine running. So it just, one of those things. Just
Mario, how hard will it be to leave Indianapolis as a competitor?
Well, it's hard, but you know, Michael is out there and John are out there, and I'll be rooting for him. So you know, if I can't win it, I hope they have many.
And we'll see you next week at Milwaukee.
You bet.
Mario is out, his car being pushed back into Gasoline Alley.
You can get an idea from how they accelerated from Michael, how much more torque they have down at low RPM, because Mercedes just literally took off from the Cosworth.
But boy, take a look at Eddie Cheever as he jumped around Michael and is tearing after the leaders now. And Michael may have a problem. That's the second car to scream past.
Michael is having a problem.
Michael's pulled to the left over here. He's down, Paul. He's having a serious problem of some sort.
And they're crowding up behind him as Michael Andretti faltered as they came back to the green flag. And he continues to falter as the field now streams past.
Yeah, but that's more of a problem.
Jack Arute, you have an update?
Yes, Paul, he's radioed in. He has a flat tire. He's going to have to come on the pit road. Tough break for Andretti.
And that's something you can't always feel when you're under the yellow. You don't. It happened while he was under the yellow, but you don't feel it till you get back up to speed.
Yet he had to make the whole lap in that trouble.
So under green flag, as we come back, our first lap of green flag racing on lap 41 after the accident involving Dobson and Groff. And Michael Andretti, apparently some problem with a tire.
Paul, that means there's always a little bit of debris left that the officials just don't find when they clean up. And all it takes, these tires don't have tubes, takes a little tiny puncture.
Watch for the field possibly to come by. This is a brutal break. He may go a lap down. Watch above him there. Here he's coming out now. Look over to the... No, he stalled it. Now the field is going to come by. He's going down a lap or more.
Let's go to Jack.
He stalled it once again. They've got to refire. He lights up the new set of tires. A man is very, very frustrated.
Now he tries to catch the field, but you can see the rest of the field streaming past on the outside. As in a desperate move to merely try and get back in on only one lap behind. Here goes Michael, and he's flying out past Bobby Unser.
There's a lot of confusion and quite a bit of concern down here in the Chip Ganassi pits. Now, Michael Andretti, you came across in third place, but when you came out of the car and looked up to the board, they have posted you finishing now in sixth position. What happened?
I don't know. You know, they were putting the black flag out, and we didn't get an explanation why. And pits were closed, so I couldn't come into pits. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I wish we're going to go talk to them and figure out what's happening, because I don't know why it should get a black flag.
Now, how do we resolve this? What do you do now, Chip Ganassi?
Well, I'm going to meet in the USAC office in 10 minutes. I've been told to come to a meeting there in 10 minutes.
So Chip Ganassi will head to USAC office, and a very disappointed Michael Andretti overcoming 3 cut tires to think he finished third, now being shown as a 6th-place finisher.
Now here's the situation on Michael Andretti. The officials of the race, Tom Binford, the chief steward of the United States Auto Club, says that he passed Hiro Matsushita on lap 189, and therefore they were going to put out the black flag. That was under the yellow. But they couldn't do that because of the situation with the yellow at the end of the race. And so they have assessed a 1-lap penalty, moving Michael Andretti from 3rd down to the bottom of this chart in 6th place.
He's a timber merchant and an antique dealer. He's been famous down there for a long time.
Michael Andretti makes his move as Gugelman heads for the pits, and Michael Andretti goes for the lead of the race once again. Mauricio Gugelman makes his 2nd stop of the day, and Michael Andretti assumes the lead. He was closing quickly on Gugelman as he slowed down, and then Andretti came into the pits as well. Now, Andretti last made a stop just 10 laps ago, so this stop for Andretti is not routine. Gugelman's stop is. Here's the Andretti stop. We're under the green. Michael, when Gugelman slowed down, you saw him get out a little bit there, and he reported that he touched the wall, so he headed right down into the pits.
That won't make Michael too happy. He's going to be screaming about that, saying that Gugelman caused him to do that. And I don't know which side is right on
into the fight. The terrible Andretti luck. Michael Andretti climbs out. Many thought this was his best chance ever.
Well,
and Michael Andretti's out of the car.
I think this is sad for everybody. I mean, you just really know. He's really controlled this race, really been quick, and we all thought he might win this one.
He was driving just the kind of conservative race.
Let's go to Gary.
Michael Andretti has come over the wall. We believe that it was a rear wishbone. We have the video contact where he was trying to get around, we believe, Gugelman, and apparently got the rear up there. They believe it's a bent suspension. As soon as he gets the helmet off, he's huddled with Tim Bumps, his crew chief, his engineer, Peter Gibbons, his wife, Sandy, is there, and we'll try to get a comment. Boy, we thought maybe the Andretti jinx would be passed, but apparently that's not the case, Paul.
Let's take a look at that now, here is Michael Andretti. Yeah, that's not a brush. That's a solid hit.
I guess Mauricio was coming into the pits because he slowed down, and I had to run, and I went to the outside because I didn't want to hit him, and it's like ice, and hit the wall.
How had the car been performing up to that point?
Beautiful. Best I've ever had here. The car was great.
Was this your best chance to win the 500?
It was one of them. One of them.
The story in the eyes tell you so much.
Michael Andretti, it's got to be such a great feeling to be back here at this track.
Yeah, but a little disappointing. You know, we came up a few short again. Doggone Penske's. Why did I have to come this year, the same year I did? But, you know, what can I say? You know, the whole Motorola Archipelago team did a great job. We hung in there, had a lot of adversity there, but, you know, that's life.
At the end there, did you feel like you had a chance to make a run, and was your car slowing down a little bit?
Yeah, I went loose. We made a change, and it was my fault. I asked for it, and it went loose, and so that was the way it goes.
I bet you can't imagine going away from this place again.
Yeah, going away again. A little empty-handed, but it's always...
Andretti was on the final run of the day, only seconds behind Kenny Breck in turn 1. Breck crashed coming out of the turn. Mario came up on the accident while running at 220 miles an hour, and he hit some debris. And then he held on. He rode out one spectacular crash. Mario walked away with only a nick on his chin about the size of a penny.
Doing your ride, you just hang on, you know, and then hope that the man upstairs doesn't forget you.
You've been blessed. You walk away. It's amazing you're walking away from this with just a cut on the chin.
Yeah, totally amazing. Yeah, indeed. I'm very fortunate.
So you'll be back in May?
I'll be back in May, of course.
Let's say Andretti luck paid off today.
Paid off.
This track's owed you a few, hasn't it?
You bet. Yeah.
We're glad you're okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Michael Andretti and
back of Cannon's car and Michael's car, I mean.
They've got the bonnet, Paul, off, and they are taking a look at the engine. The Honda engine is turned off.
Guys, I can tell you what this feels like. And when I've had this happen in the past at the Indy 500, it was not even my last race. You can only imagine what is going on in Michael's mind right now. The Andretti luck has happened again for Michael Andretti.
They try to restart Michael. Casper Nevis is our leader, first time today. Mario, the 69 winner, who's had so much bad luck that Michael seems to have inherited. And
Paul, they just radioed to Michael Andretti. The worst words that you want to hear on your retirement day. That's it. He's getting out of the car for the last time. Michael Andretti will end his career winless at the Indianapolis 500.
At least in his last race, he led for 28 laps. And it's the 6th DNF for Andretti in 14 Indy 500s. Sight thousands of fans did not want to see. Michael Andretti's car going behind the wall. At the halfway point, Jimmy Vasser picks up the lead in the 19 car.
Michael Andretti, the last time we're going to have this conversation, what do you feel right here, right now?
I don't know. Really disappointed, but hey, you know, it wasn't meant to be. It's a shame because the 711 car was running very good. We were running right up at the top all day, and we had a shot at winning it, legitimate shot. So at least I can say I had a good shot at winning my last race.
Now you turn your gears and you become a team. You still have some solid cars in the field. You begin to call some of the shots, or what?
I'm not going to call any shots, but I'm definitely, the first thing I did was look up the scoreboard and see where they're at. So I got to start cheering.
Paul, he may not win it as a driver, but he'd like to win it now as a car owner.
Here at Indianapolis, Michael started 13th. And there it is, the one graphic he would like to change. It's like when Phil Mickelson was going for his first Masters. You know, the best player never to win the major.
Mario's just saying, be quiet, don't say nothing. Let's just get this thing done. I don't want anything to get jinxed at the moment right now.
Can Michael Andretti pull it off? At the age of 43, will he win his first Indy? The green flag is out, and this time by there will be 4 laps remaining at Indianapolis. And look at the traffic behind him. That's Marco, 4 cars back. That's lap vehicles in between.
Is that Herta in his second position I've seen right now?
I don't think so.
It's Brian Herta in the second position now.
Yes, it is.
It's a team car. He can help Michael win this race if he can just hold that line. It's Marco in the second place. He immediately gets out of the way. Marco's going by on the outside. Brian Herta's going to tuck right back in. Then it's Hornish.
And the 4th car in that freight train is Sam Hornish.
The crowd is going nuts. They're jumping out. I've never seen the people this excited in my entire life. I wish the fans could look up and see what I'm seeing.
Now, how dirty will Michael be to hold back his son?
Marco's going to take a look on the outside heading into 1. We haven't seen that since 1991.
Oh, my gosh. Marco Andretti, 19-year-old sensation. I've never seen a driver this age as good as this kid is right now. He's amazing. The talent is on. Here comes Hornish on the inside. It's 3 to go.
Look at Michael. He was trying to hold back Hornish so he would not have a chance of getting anywhere close to Marco.
It looks like Michael's hopes for victory are dashed again. This time by, there will be 2 laps to go. The Indianapolis 500 has become the Indianapolis 5. Will it be Marco Andretti, or will it be Sam Hornish Jr.? Hornish coming after him. The margin at the stripe, half a second. The look of Mario Andretti and the captain tells it all. Here comes Hornish. He's closing on Marco Andretti.
Oh, this does not look good. Oh,
Sam should have waited. He should have waited until the front stretch.
It may cost him dearly because this time by, it will be 1 lap to go. Just listen to the crowd as they come down the front stretch.
White flag. I believe Marco can do this. I really think he's got it. He's got to hold the line. Low lane, Marty Scott. This kid, I believe, is going to win this race. The most exciting Daytona 5. I'm sorry, the most exciting Indy 500 ever.
Down the back stretch for the final time. His father has not won it in 15 tries. Through 3. Hornish closing one more time. Coming out of 4. Down the front stretch. It's a drag race. Marco Andretti. Hornish. Who's going to win? At the stripe. It's Hornish.
Oh, Hornish wins.
Hornish wins. By 6/100ths of a second. The closest finish, second closest in Indy history.
All right. You're a hell of a man, guy. Whoa. You're the man. Yeah, that's awesome, Sam.
If you are Marco Andretti, though, you cannot be disappointed.
Look at the agony, the ecstasy.
Leader right now is Tony Kanaan. There you see Danica Patrick. She has cycled up to 4th, but she still has a pit stop to make. We've still got green flag stops going on.
Here we go.
Oh! Hard contact into the wall.
See that one coming again outside the black groove, up into the marble to look like the car had a problem at the very beginning, and that is the Camping World machine of John Andretti.
So John, who lost a mirror earlier in the race, that's the red replacement you see on the car. Now he's got to repair the whole right side, but it looks like John's going to be okay. And it happens just that quickly here at Indianapolis.
Really just, we lost the mirror early and lost a lap fixing it, and then just out there just running around, getting miles, and if you get up a half a lane, your tire just gets all the stuff built up on it. And I went in the next corner, and it just didn't turn. It just
Who
went
has
straight.
one fast race car right now for a driver to do that? Boy, is he ever confident of the ability of his car.
Goes around the slower traffic of Sarah Fisher. Jack, what's going on?
Well,
oh, no, another crash, and it's upside down. We've got a car upside down. It's Marco Andretti. 2 cars at least involved in this. Buddy Rice as well. Buddy was taken out last year in a crash with Elio. This year, a crash with Marco.
And Marco, you okay?
Looks like he's got the helmet off. You can see him right in there. He's talking to him, so it looks like Marco's okay. Grandpa can breathe again.
Marty's just had a big crash. He had to catch his breath, let everything come back to him. He took his time getting up out of the car, and the safety team is really taking their time with him. We're glad to see he's okay. He's walking away, disoriented a little bit. He just went upside down at over 220 miles per hour and survived it. The cars are so safe. It's just incredible how safe these Indy cars are and what they can survive, Scott.
You see the damage in the front nose of the car, the grass from when it caught and flipped them actually over a couple of times in the pit lane, being repaired. Now here we go now. He's cutting across, just touches Dan Weldon's car that's on the right-hand side, breaks Dan Weldon's left front suspension. Dan Weldon goes.
Keep up.
Marco Andretti 224 that last time.
Marco has the fastest car in the track
right now. On board with Marco Andretti. This time by, it'll be 8 laps to go.
Marco Andretti, you heard him on board, not even lifting off the throttle.
2 years ago, he lost by, oh, so close. The second closest finish ever. Sam Hornish took the win. He can see the race leader. Can he get to the race leader? He is flat-footing it all the way around this track. Whoop, lifted just a little bit there in 2.
But he's got O'Meara in front of him. And if he can't get by him within 3 or 4 laps, it's going to be also difficult to catch Dixon.
Absolutely. It's going to almost have to be in 2.
The gap has stayed the same between first and second. 7/10 of a second over the last 3 laps. This time by 7 laps to go in the 92nd running of the Indianapolis 500.
There he goes.
He looks down low. Can't get it done.
Remember, turn 2 is where he had problems before. Didn't get a good run off of turn 2. We'll have to see if he can do that this time. He lost a bit of time in turn 1 that time.
He'll take another shot at. He's got to make the timing just right here. He's got to sort of fall back a little bit and time it so that when he comes off of 4, he's got the momentum.
So he's working on him now, going into 3, so he can get him going into 1.
Oh, a little bit of a lift. That won't help.
No, that'll give up some ground. This time by, it'll be 6 laps to go. You saw his grandfather, Mario Andretti, hoping that his grandson can do what he did 39 years ago with Vince Welch with Marco Andretti.
A very disappointed Marco Andretti despite a 3rd place finish. Marco, why are you so upset?
No, because in hindsight, it's easy to point out mistakes in the race, you know, and I think as a team, we did an awesome job. I think all month, if you ask me, I think the Indiana Jones car was one of the ones to beat the entire month, you know, so I think it was a team decision to do what we did, and okay, we missed, but we messed up as a team. We finished 3rd, we got good points. Let's move on.
Is the team, when you talk about the decision, are you talking about the rear wing decision to change the trim out the car on that last pit stop?
Yeah, copy. But that's the thing, is you know, it's easier said than done afterwards. You know, during, it's a team decision. If you mess up, you mess up. You know, so I think you know, got good points.
Crash on the track, and it's Graham Rahal.
No crash. No, he looked rolling free.
Anything?
Oh, there's why. Don't tell me. Is that John?
And Graham Rahal appears to have spun
to avoid
and only seems to have lost a tire. But this looks like this is significant damage, obviously. Wow, that's a big one. He's moving around in the car, though. And that's a case of Graham Rahal. Obviously, when you spin one of these cars and you lock up the brakes, it'll pop the tires.
Yeah.
So he was very, very fortunate with no spare car to take voiding action. And they can definitely recover from that.
All right, we'll take a look at what happened to John Andretti. He's out of the car. Okay.
Wow. On entry, Robbie.
Oh, my. And a big hit. Was the throttle trace just catching up with him there?
Boy, did you see Graham Rahal flash by there?
Yeah, he did a great job of it.
Yeah.
He spun early in there. You're right. That's mid-portion.
There's debris all over the place. Graham Rahal.
Wow. Yeah. Graham did a fabulous job. I mean, he was going right towards him, and he spun his car down out of the way.
Look at all the pieces, all the carbon. Graham, he was going to go high. He was going to go high, and then he saw that John Andretti was sliding up to the wall. He yanks the wheel to the left, and wow, what's...
Oh, we got a crash in the short chute. 2 cars into the wall, and it looks like one of them might be Marco Andretti. Taking a look right now, trying to see who that is.
Boy, we talked about this. You have to get through the first turn and the first lap because you have to finish here if you have a shot at winning. The emotions inside those drivers' cockpits right now are just crazy.
It's the 5 car of Mario Marias. He has been sliding under the radar, been performing extremely well. Look at the disconsolate expression in the cockpit. He just can't believe that his race is over before lap 1.
The front wing panel for Marco Andretti's car has been sheared on the left-hand side. He is getting out of the car. The Firestone Firehawks have been flat spotted as well, guys. Andretti is out of the car with less than a lap completed in this race.
We talked about the Andretti luck at Indianapolis. This has no fault of Marco Andretti, but the 4th-time starter who finished 2nd in his first 500 4 years ago will not finish.
He knew the main thing for him was to stay on the lead lap and work.
Trouble, the 43 for John Andretti is into the wall, and our 4th caution's out.
Just like it did practice. I mean, took off exactly like it did practice.
Keep
it up high, John. Keep it up high.
He was running 26th at the time of the contact.
Watch as the car comes through the turn. It's in the middle of the turn. It just seems like it starts to walk itself towards the wall as we now look at the back of the window world machine with John Andretti. Maybe not quite down to the white line, down to the apex. But it seemed like that car was probably ill-handling to him for some reason, Eddie.
Oh, what a popular win it would be for
Turn one.
Yellow crash in turn 1. It is Marco Andretti. The curse continues.
He was moving up. He had moved himself up to 8th.
He felt like he had a race car that could win. His confidence had never been higher. Look at the look on Grandpa's face. You heard him say, give him a minute.
And Marty, I think he did have a race car to win today. Circumstances got him in the wrong place, and he just can't get through the group to get himself back up to the front.
Mario won this race back in 1969. Since then, no Andretti has ever made it back to victory lane. And it will not happen again today.
So, to turn number 4 for those classic words at Indianapolis. Bob?
We have a problem with Mario Andretti's car. He is
Mario is slowing down. Yeah. Oh. It happens every May, it seems. Is he in the pit?